We're going to upgrade our router fence from this basically garbage Rockler factory fence. We're going to upgrade to a nice melamine fence that's longer, taller, and by far better quality. Right after this. I'm Rick, and this Shut the heck up, you stinking roosters. Now that for your sanity. This is the shack. Hello and welcome back to the shack. Quick, easy video today. This is literally hour to build. Depends on how crazy you want to get, I guess. I have a project I have to do, which I will video with that also. But I'm thinking about doing something with my router table on that project. And I was looking at it and I thought, you know what? I just need to do this. That fence is trash, it's garbage. Time to upgrade it to make it a little more sturdy, more dependable. And I decided we're just going to rebuild the fence for our router table. The one I have is a Rockler, not the best, it was cheap, but I thought it would last a little bit longer. Within 6-7 months, it was just, yeah. I'll explain more, so I'm going to readjust the camera, and we're going to go step by step and get this done. Again, this is a quick, easy hour to build. So this is part of the old fence. The reason I have to replace it, there are two pieces, one on either side of the blade, and a few months after I got this, put it together, I was running some material through making railing style doors, and it seemed like it was hitting something, jamming, so I have to pull back a little bit, go past, go back down, continue the cut. So after I was done, I kept looking at it like, what is it hitting? And I would go and readjust the fence, make sure it was in line with the bit, everything right on the roller. You know, I'm just doing all this stuff over and over, and it kept hitting, and I'm about ready to pull my hair out, and I'm thinking, it's hitting here, and I noticed it started peeling off. You see here? See, it's already doing it again. It's peeling up. Like, man, I can't have this. So I tore it off, flipped it around, used this side. Within a few months, you see again, it's coming up. So it's like, this fence piece from Rockler is absolute junk. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my new fence out of this scrap piece of melamine. It's going to be higher and it's going to be longer, and we're going to have little supports on each end to give it that little extra. So this is how I'm going to measure this. These are my Jessum guides. These are all the way down. So I want them fully extended, and I want this just touching the top of the table. So that is right at 4.5 inches. So I'm going to cut my new one at 4.5. These are only 3 inches, so I'm getting an extra 1.5 inches height out of it. Can go higher, but for now I think that's high enough. Set the table saw at 4.5. That's our first cut. So with my new piece here, I'm putting it against the extruded fence from Rockler, and I'm just going to mark where the holes are, just so I can have a reference point and I can go down and make sure I get it in the middle. I'll go here. So back to the table saw, and we're going to get our measurements. Now there's a little marks. I know you can't see them on the camera there, but here's my 2 marks I made. Now when I set this on the tabletop, I actually set it on 2 business cards at either end. So when you set it on there, you actually have just a hairline gap underneath here, because I don't want this to sit completely on the tabletop itself. I want to have just a little gap here. So These marks are perfect, so all I have to do is get my center line on there. Doesn't have to be perfect, I just want to get close. And that looks to be right at 1 inch. I like that, right at 1 inch. So I just need to set my router table up. I got the T-slot bit in, so I'm just going to use this to kind of get it set for the height. And then I'm going to do a test cut on something to make sure this is going to fit, because actually my T-slot is a little bit thicker than this one, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll work. Perfect. That one will work. So I'm going to bring this down. Let's see, that goes that way. So I want it about the same height. The slot here is the same height. That's all I want, is that the same thickness, I guess. So line this up with the bottom there. I'm gonna turn my light on. I gotta see this. Make sure I get it right. Turn it where I get this right on there. That looks good right there. Yeah, it's just catching, so perfect. I'm gonna leave it right there. We'll try that on a test piece and see everything works. I'm just going to use this. Let me bring up a little bit more. There we go. I can just run it through a little bit, an inch or so, and I'm going to make sure that these T-nuts will slide in. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to run that through a little bit and test it. Well, unfortunately, that bit ain't going to work. And that's the only T-slot bit I got. I think I may have to buy a T-slot bit. I think this is mainly for 1/4-20s. I thought I had a T-slot bit in here somewhere. Oh well, that ain't going to work because it doesn't fit. So I may have to wait and just get me a cheap bit tomorrow. I had a little revelation here. I was looking at that since this doesn't fit in there, and I thought, well, I got another T-slot that's a 1/4 inch for 1/4-20 hex bolts to cut a slot. Now I started thinking, wait a minute, I wonder, so I got a 5/16 and it fits. So I can use this. I just swap these T-slot bolts with a 5/16 hex bolt and they'll work just fine. And it's the same thread as these, so yeah, this is going to work. These are 5/16 by 1 inch, and it sticks out a good 3/4 of an inch. So I got plenty of thread for this to get onto. It goes about right there when it starts hitting. So this will work. I don't have to wait till tomorrow. And the good thing, my Jessum guides, they fit. Yeah. So I can use that bit. The only thing I have to change out is the 4 bolts. Let me reset this up. I'll time lapse it. We're just going to cut this out. I thought I had clicked the start button to record, but this was actually a little bit too low to get it in. And when I put it on and set it here, this was proud. It was sticking about like that. So I got my calipers measured, maybe a 32nd, so I'm going to take a 16th off. That way I have a 32nd above my plate when I tighten this down. Again, I just want a little breathing room underneath here. So we're going to go over to the table saw. I'm going to take a 16th of an inch off, and then we're going to bevel this side. Let's head over to the table saw. So I'm going to move this over a 16th of an inch. So I'll be at 4 15/16. Okay. Right there. So I want to make sure it's the bottom. That's where I want it run off that side. So I'm going to run it through this way. Now I'm just going to angle it a little bit. I'm just going to take off a little edge of this. And close to about 30 degrees, that's all I want. And I'm going to bring this over about a 16th at a time. So I get to where I want it. Actually, I went over 32nd. Does look good there. I apologize for the interruption. If any of this you find interesting, maybe gives you something to think about, gives you some ideas, please consider subscribing. And if you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so you're notified when any future videos come out. But this would definitely help out and grow the channel. I would immensely appreciate that. Again, I apologize for the interruption. Back to the video. Get that about centered there. Tighten that down. Perfect little line. Sweet, sweet. Me likey, likey. And we know these fit. So all I have to do is we got to cut that in half. Then I got my two separate pieces. This little piece here, I'm going to cut a couple inches off each side. And I'm going to put that on the bottom so I can have a little support right there. Well, you know what I did? I beveled the back. Welcome to my world. So yeah, I'm going to go to the table saw, cut this in half, bevel this side, and then we'll be back. Well, I thought I hit play again. Well, I'm sure losing it. I'll explain it one more time. I'm just simply putting a little ledge on either end. It's like 1 3/4 inches. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put 3 screws in. Should be enough. I'll just do a couple holes and then I'll finish the rest off camera. Now I have to be careful because that slot, I only got 1.25 inch screw. 1.5 inches, it'd go through that slot. Perfect. Slide this one on. Ooh, nice. Look at that. And I got little ledges on the sides. So now I actually got to get my little port here for my dust collection. Fell down. And back up. Hook that on. Got my dust collection back on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So much more better. So much more better? Is that a word? More better? I can put these away, use them on another project. There we go. And there we have it. We are back in business with a proper fence that actually works. Exceptional fence, easy build, little modification. I didn't have the exact T-style slot bit, but I like this better. It's a little more heavy duty, and I like it. So now I got a much bigger fence, one that's stable. More importantly now, when I run material through, it's not going to hit. Look at that. I'll go ahead and close this. Ooh, look at that. Hangs there. And I go out there. Look at that. Doesn't hit. I am done. I am happy. Talk about an upgrade. What a serious upgrade. So much nicer. Going from this very cheap fence system, upgrading it, metal, this extruded metal or aluminum from the Rockler isn't bad, but this fence is absolutely junk from them. Now we have a sturdy fence with some extra little supports on either end. I can run material through, not even hitting it. On this side, completely. And now that is absolutely fantastic. Easy, simple upgrade to your router table. This is what I did with mine. Everybody's got their own specific needs. This fulfills any need that I have. The only thing I may change down the road, the slot in the back, instead of having this, basically having this screwed in, get an angled iron or something, screw to some platforms out here, maybe 3 inches wide, and have it like an angle iron or a bracket or something in the back so I can screw into these. Set this on there, tighten them up, and that way they can be removable, like little extra wings. Just something to think about, some extra you could do to yours. I just don't have any metal around right now that I can make me some angles. I may have to get some little brackets. It's not going to take a whole lot of weight on these. It's just to hold the material. I don't plan on routing any 4x4s or 4x8s on this. So I think 3 inches, 4 inch, maybe in that range, little support wings on here. And that's all I'm going to need, but I would like to have them removable. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed. Take back your shack. Know that for your sanity. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's raining very hard out right now. And it's been raining for about the last hour and a half, and we already got a little river going down my backyard. At this rate, yeah, our road's gonna be flooded out again. Thank God I got a truck. Anyway, thanks again for watching. We will see you next video.